Hello you guys, so what we have here today is a 2020 Honda Civic Sport Hatchback CVT in Honda Blue. I'm not sure exactly about the color name. This will be a little walkthrough, startup, and review after 1,000 miles of driving. So right now we're just going to be doing a little bit of a exterior shot here. See down here it's got some nice exhaust tips, not a full exhaust system though, so it doesn't sound very loud, but I will say it does have a nice rumble, so there is a compromise. Here we are from the front. Overall, I think on the sport trim at least, the black accenting here looks a lot nicer than the chrome that comes standard on the other trims, but that's my personal opinion. When we come over here, we can see these nice black rims. I think they look nice too. See back here. One thing I will note is, I don't know what's going on here, but Honda decided to leave this honeycomb pattern. I don't know if it'll pick up on the camera here, but for the back. Meanwhile, on the front of the car, they switched from the honeycomb to some kind of flat plastic. So no more design here. They also added some accents. I do like that. A lot of people mentioned that in their little Civic reviews. Overall, though, I think it's a sharp car. Let's go take a little view inside here. A little touchless open. I mean, like I said, it is lived in, so it's not perfectly clean for this video, but it's a good representation of what this car will be like once you actually drive it off the showroom floor. Coming inside here, we got our genuine Honda rubber mats. Pedals. I do like these pedals. They definitely complement the sporty appearance. Our wheel setup, gauge cluster. Center console is a little dirty. I will say one thing I'm very happy about is in the previous sport models, and there's a big fly that's about to come in here, which is not good. In the previous sport models, they came with this small screen here, and that's what I tested out in the past when I was going to buy one of these cars, and it was pretty bare bones for a car that's, you know, it's going to be your daily driver, right? So I'm very happy Honda stepped up their game for the sport trim, and now they offer this big full-size screen. I like that. Other than that, on the inside, really no complaints. Some people say that the seats here are uncomfortable, but I'm 6'9". I fit really well in them, and I think they're good seats. And I actually have a lot of headroom with the seats all the way down. No sunroof, obviously, in this model. I wouldn't be able to fit without one. Let's go ahead and give it a startup. Currently rocking a little over 1,000 on the clock. Here's your infotainment system. And I've customized it so I can have different backgrounds. You know, you can do whatever you want. You can leave it on the standard Honda style. So I like that Honda offers some kind of, you know, user customization for this UI, right? That's nice. Other than that, I can say the shifter is actually decent. I've seen some new models where they offer like button shifters, so like there's like a park button, a drive button, a neutral. I don't like that. I'm very happy Honda stuck with this, I guess you could say, manual shift, if you know what I mean. It's not really manual, but I mean, at least you have this. One thing that I'm a little iffy on is this electronic parking brake. You know, when I'm used to driving these kind of, you know, lower end cars, I like to have the manual parking brake where you pull it up, pull it down as you please. I feel like this will break over time. I'm just not a fan of, you know, I don't really know, is it up or down, because there's like a little LED that's lit. I just prefer to have a manual one. That's my personal choice. And when I did test drive the stick shift variant of this, which has 6 speeds, I found this to be an even bigger hassle, because sometimes at lights I like to hold the e-brake up or whatever, and it's a bigger annoyance to have to worry about this when I can't tell from an eye's glance, is it up or down? So that's just my personal thing. Also, there's an eco mode in here, and I found that it just makes the car stutter and jerk from low speed, so I just have it off. I'm getting here, but let's see if I can show. I'm getting pretty decent MPGs with the eco mode off. You can see here 35 miles per gallon. So I just leave it off, and I'm driving just fine. One gripe that I have with this car that I really don't like will be this right here, this button. I always hold it when I get in the car. Collision mitigation braking system. A lot of people have been complaining about this in these Civics, and I've experienced this today, which basically means the car is supposed to, in theory, brake when you're getting too close to, another car or an object, and you're not braking. It'll brake for itself in attempts to save you, right, from an accident. But what I found is this system, at least in these Civics, is a little too sensitive and has a lot of false alarms. So I was driving on an open road with nothing, just pavement, no cars, no nothing, and then out of nowhere there was a big tree with shade. And as the car approached the shade, nothing, and all of a sudden slams on the brakes. If there was someone behind me, that could have been an accident. So it's something that I feel, I've been driving for 6 years, I've never had a ticket or an accident, and I feel like I don't need this other system that might save me in an instance, but for the most part, just another hassle, another thing to worry about that might just come on at no reason. So I just like to keep that off and ignore it. But I mean, it's your personal choice if you want to deal with those false alarms or not. I personally I trust myself enough when I'm getting behind the wheel that I don't want to have to deal with that. Other than that, I can say personally from the CVT, I was having a bit of a debate because, like I said, I did test drive the 6-speed manual variant of this model. I was very close to buying it, but here's why I went with the CVT. First off, it's just, ease of livability, right? Got a little bit of dirt here, I don't know what that is. As we all know, right, in today's world, we have stop and go traffic. We got, your mommies who drive their big SUVs. They don't care if you're driving a CVT or automatic, a manual. They're going to be on your bumper, riding you. And, you screw up with your manual, you could cause an accident if you're not a seasoned driver. There's also the fact about the clutch replacement in a front-wheel drive car. It's a lot more expensive than in something that's rear-wheel drive. I don't want to deal with that. I commute into downtown Chicago, and when I do have an open road on a weekend and I want to spirit drive a little bit, I have these paddle shifters here. So yes, I know the paddle shifter people make fun of them, but it's a compromise, okay? And then for normal days when I'm stuck in stop and go traffic going to downtown Chicago, just leave it in drive and don't worry about it. I have a nice sound system, and I can just listen to my music, chill, worry about the other, garbage that comes with driving into Chicago, like jaywalkers and aggressive people, right? But I don't have to worry about a clutch. I don't have to worry about, stalling out or anything. Just completely ignore that. So, and another thing I'll say is with this CVT, it's actually quite peppy for it being a CVT, right? Obviously. It picks up really well. I don't have any footage here of me accelerating, but when you shift it into sport mode, there's no fake gear changes unless you actually want to engage that here with the paddle shifters, but it'll just hold a high RPM and the car will go for you. I really do appreciate Honda for not offering those fake gear changes when you don't want them. You can utilize the power to the maximum, and the car does pick up with 93 octane. You can fill it up with other octanes, but there's engine knock, and it's just not what's recommended in the book. The book says 91 or higher, so I'd stick with that for best performance. So other than that, that's basically been my review of the Civic. It drives, I'm getting good gas mileage. It's been reliable so far, other than that crash mitigation system that's been giving me some issues, which I've disabled for the time being. It's a nice car. A lot of room back here, right, for it being the hatchback, obviously. And like I said, I'm 6'9", I fit in here. I go on drives for 3 hours long. I don't have any back problems or back pain. And I think this is definitely a very good car for someone who's in college or even someone who's retired looking for something that's cheap, easy to drive, it corners well. I mean, I can't complain too much. One final thing that I will mention now, because it's just come to my mind, is the plastic interiors, but that's with most cars nowadays. They're very scratchy. You can see back here even, there was a bug that came into my car, and I just nicked it with my hand, and it left a permanent mark. Or maybe you can take it out, but I'm at least not sure how. But unfortunately, with most modern cars now, everyone's kind of cheaping out on interior plastics, so you just have to live with it. It's a compromise. But overall, car is very nice. It's been good to me so far for the first 1,000 miles. I would definitely recommend this car to people, like I've mentioned before. And for my final verdict, I'll probably give it an 9.5 out of 10. You know, a few little mishaps with the electronics and the braking, but otherwise a really nice car, very easy to drive, very user-friendly. So thanks for watching, and hopefully this helped you in your decision to buy a Civic Sport Hatch CVT. Alright, take care.